Welcome to episode 2 of BeerAmerica.tv, and John Pinkerton is back with me, which is good. I hope he stays with this for as long as I can have him.
So far, so good.
I picked a couple of different beers this time, and again, John, I'm just bringing the beers to John. So some of these he's had, and some of these he hasn't, and which is good because I kind of want to either surprise you, or I assume you've had a lot of these beers before. But one of the beers I picked was an organic beer. You know, everybody with the green movement going on, eco-friendly. I thought, well, let me try an organic beer. So I picked Butte Creek Organic Ale, which is brewed in Chico, California. It's certified organic, which is important to say that it's certified because they're not using only some ingredients that are organic and some that aren't. All the ingredients are supposed to be certified organic, which is a whole process. So that's kind of important.
And the process itself.
Yes. I mean, the brewing process.
The brewing process has to be, in order for the beer to be certified organic, the brewing process also has to have the blessing of sorts.
So you wouldn't be able to, I guess, brew other beers in it because of the crossover, maybe? Or I'm sure that might be part of it.
Honestly, I haven't really done a whole lot of research in this. This is all kind of new to me as well, but I understand that there are some process standards that have to be met as well. And I assume it has to do with the cleaning chemicals you use and that sort of thing.
So this is a much lighter beer, and let's go ahead and pour it, because I mean, everybody kind of likes a lighter beer who's not into the heavy craft beers, so I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit here. Would you swirl all beers, craft beers? Does that kind of open it up? Is that what, I mean, all craft beers or certain, like the Belgian? In episode 1 we had the Belgian Ale, and we had the Palo Santo, and we swirled those, and that to me, because I'm not really a swirler, I guess I always thought the wine people did that, but you know what? It opened up a whole bunch of smells to me that I'm not used to.
Yeah, and that's really the whole point. And I mean, I'll be honest, when I'm just drinking beer, from time to time I do drink out of the bottle, but if I'm really just trying to enjoy the beers, I want to pour it in a glass, and I do swirl. I'm a swirler. What are you going to do?
But it helps, though. You're not doing it because you're like want to be cool or anything. It actually does help. It opens things up a little bit.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where if I was really trying to be cool, I'd probably avoid that because I'm sure it looks really pretentious. But it does. It's what we do. I mean, it really is what we do. I mean, when we're doing judging panels, or if we're just doing straight sensory panel, I mean, it helps to volatilize those aromatic compounds and bring it out. And you do the same thing with wine, but there again, beer is almost the perfect beverage for that because it just pushes it right out.
I'm not sure if I smell, you tell me, I think I smell like grains in this, and I'm not sure what kind of grains I smell, and that's why I want you here, because I don't know when you smell this beer.
I'm getting a nice blend of things. I mean, there's some nice hoppy notes. I think that there's some yeast character that's coming through that I'm going to just generally say is being kind of fruity.
Can't quite pinpoint what this tastes like to me, but it's not
I get a little touch of malt there.
It's pretty tasty beer. I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's very easy drinking. The bitterness level is fairly low, but it does have a bit of a hop signature to it, aromatically, I mean. I think it might be an insult to call it a training wheel beer, because there is some bitterness there, and there is a nice little maltiness. But I would say that it's a nice transitional beer, and I think it would be kind of a good introductory beer.
So the next beer I want to try is a beer from Victory. It's called Storm King Stout. Now, I'm not a big stout fan because to me it seems kind of heavy. But this beer, and even though we're not rating beers or judging beers, you know, the little sticker in the store, which I think is kind of a useful thing, it said, you know, really rated really high. So I thought, well, why not try it? So that's kind of why I picked this one. And plus stouts are good, you know, I guess for after dinner drinks, or we'll get into what kind of food it goes with afterwards. But I mean, what can you tell me about a stout? What is a stout?
Well, it's probably not enough to just talk about stout without talking about some of the different styles of stout. Now, this particular stout is an Imperial stout, which is perhaps the richest of all the stouts. It's a style that kind of came out of the British Empire. The Russian Empire would actually contract this beer to be brewed. Very strong, very rich flavors. for the Russian czars. And so this was a kind of a royal beer at the time in history. And of course, I'm not a history person, so I can't give you any dates.
But that's literally what Imperial means. That's why they put Imperial.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so what it really implies is the strength that it's brewed to and its sweet, rich quality.
Well, let's take a look at it, because I'm...
Yeah, what's interesting here is that there's a lot of hoppiness here that you might be putting into your nose thinking that you're going to taste a lot of roasty characters, but the first thing that hits your nose is that kind of green, herbaceous, hoppy quality.
Wow, but the taste is a lot different than, not a lot different, but it tastes different than it smells almost. I mean, would that be accurate to say? I mean, a little chocolatey.
Yeah, it's got a nice creamy texture on the palate, while the nose is giving you lots of sort of green hoppy information. I think what hits you on the palate initially is that sort of roasty quality.
Yeah.
But not necessarily bitter roastiness. It's surprisingly for Russian Imperial Stout, it's not painfully bitter. It's a lovely beer. The guys at Victory do a great job with all their beers, and this is no slouch for an Imperial Stout.
Yeah, and it's a big flavor. You know, like I said, I wasn't at the top of this. I wasn't a big fan of stouts, but I could drink this. This is definitely got a lot of flavor, and it's got a great smell, great aroma. So really nice beers in episode 2. We had Butte Creek Organic Ale and Victory's Storm King Stout. And again, you can pick these up. This is also a seasonal beer. They have this as a fall-winter beer, so you're probably not going to be able to get it year-round. But it's a really nice beer. Both really nice beers. So thanks again for joining me for episode 2, beeramerica.tv. Again, if you have any suggestions at all, please email me at paul@beeramerica.tv. Happy to take any suggestions to try any sort of beers. And again, with John's experienced palate, that's a really good thing to bring it in my inexperienced palate. But we're going to have a little fun here. And
The experienced palate.
The experienced palate. And thanks. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.